We were halfway through dinner at a tapas place downtown, the kind with dim lighting and loud music where you have to lean in to hear each other. I was telling her about a project at work, something I was actually proud of, and she was nodding, smiling, engaged. Then, out of nowhere, she paused, took a sip of her wine and said, "You know, Mark from my office actually did something similar last week. He's so creative with that stuff, you'd really like him." Mark, her office, creative, you'd like him? I felt it immediately, that tightness in the chest, that primal spike of cortisol that says threat, rival, competitor. I forced a smile. I made a joke about hoping Mark wasn't as good at ordering wine as I was. She laughed, but her eyes didn't laugh. They were watching me, measuring me, and I realized too late that I wasn't on a date, I was being audited. If you've ever been on a date where she casually mentions an ex, a coworker, a gym buddy, or some unnamed guy who just gets her humor, and you felt your stomach drop while she watched your reaction like a hawk, you've been caught in the jealousy trap. And it is one of the most psychologically destabilizing games in modern dating because it forces you to choose between looking insecure if you react, or looking indifferent if you don't. This happened to me with a woman named Elena. We had been seeing each other for 3 weeks. Things were going well, great chemistry, physical connection was strong. But every time we got close to defining anything, she'd drop a name. "Oh, Jason and I went there last year. My trainer David says I should try that diet. I was talking to this guy from Hinge yesterday and he said the same thing." At first, I thought she was just being open. I thought she was showing me she had options, which is healthy, right? But the frequency was too high, the timing was too specific, and the eye contact after each mention was too intense. She wasn't sharing information, she was testing security. The misread is thinking she's actually interested in these other guys. She's not. If she was interested in Mark or Jason or David, she would be dating them. She is sitting across from you. She is spending her Friday night with you. The mention of other men isn't about them. It's about you. It's a probe to see if you're secure enough to handle her having a life, or if you're fragile enough to be controlled by insecurity. Let me break down the psychology of the jealousy trap. In 2026 dating culture, especially for women, 26-35, who have dealt with possessive or controlling partners in the past, there is a heightened sensitivity to male insecurity. They aren't trying to hurt you. They are trying to safety check you. They want to know, if I mention another man, will you shrink? Will you get angry? Will you try to isolate me? Or will you remain steady, unbothered, and confident in what we have? But here's the dangerous line. There is a difference between a security check and emotional manipulation. A security check happens once, maybe twice, early on. It's casual, it's low stakes. Manipulation happens repeatedly, strategically, and always when you're getting too close. It's designed to keep you off balance. It's designed to make you compete for her attention against ghosts. And if you bite, if you get jealous, if you ask questions, if you try to prove you're better than Mark, you fail the test by proving you're insecure. But if you say nothing, you feel like a doormat. It's a double bind. Here are the 3 signs that she's testing you with jealousy, not just sharing her life, so you can spot the trap before you spend 3 months competing with imaginary rivals. Sign 1, the timing trigger. Does she mention other guys specifically when things are going well? You just kissed. She mentions an ex. You plan a weekend trip. She mentions a male friend she's going to coffee with. This isn't organic conversation. This is breaking. She feels the intimacy rising. Her anxiety spikes, and she introduces a third party to dilute the intensity. It's a way to keep you at arm's length while keeping you on the hook. If the mentions only happen when you're getting close, it's a trap. Sign 2, the comparison frame. Is she stating facts, or is she comparing you? I have a male friend is a fact. My male friend listens to me better than most guys is a comparison. Jason takes me to this great place. Implies you haven't taken her there. When the mention comes with a qualitative judgment about your performance as a partner, she's not sharing. She's critiquing. She's using another man as a mirror to show you where you're lacking, hoping you'll work harder to win her approval. Sign 3, the reaction watch. This is the biggest tell. After she drops the name, does she continue the conversation, or does she stop and look at you? Does she wait for your response? Does her tone change slightly, waiting to see if you flinch? People who are just sharing information move on quickly. People who are testing you linger in the silence. They want to see the micro-expression of jealousy cross your face. If she's watching your eyes instead of talking about her day, you're being tested. So here's the fix. It's called the amused agreement, and it disarms the test completely. When she mentions another guy, you do not get angry, you do not get quiet, you do not ask probing questions about who he is. Instead, you agree with her, amplify it slightly, and move on. She says, Mark from my office is so creative. You say, oh, sounds like a great guy. You should definitely keep him around for project advice. Now, about this wine. Do you hear what that did? You didn't compete, you didn't get threatened, you validated her reality without validating him as a threat. You showed that your security isn't dependent on her eliminating other men from her life. You showed that you know your value isn't diminished by Mark's existence. This is what high-value confidence looks like. It's not arrogance, it's the quiet knowledge that you are enough, so no comparison can hurt you. But here's the boundary you must hold. If she crosses from testing into disrespect, you call it out calmly. There is a line between, I have male friends, and I'm comparing you to them constantly. If it becomes a pattern, you say, I know you have friends, and I'm secure enough not to worry about that. But when you bring them up repeatedly during our time together, it feels like you're trying to make me jealous. I'm not interested in playing that game. I'm interested in us. I tried this with Elena. The fourth time she mentioned a guy, I used the amused agreement. I smiled, I agreed, I changed the subject. She looked confused. She expected me to squirm. She expected me to ask, who is he, or do you like him? When I didn't, the power dynamic shifted instantly. She couldn't control me with jealousy because I wasn't afraid of loss. And after that, the mentions stopped because the test was over. I had passed. But I also knew that if she had kept going, if she had kept trying to provoke me after I set the boundary, I would have walked away. Because a woman who needs to make you insecure to feel secure is not a woman who can build a healthy relationship. She is looking for a father, not a partner. She is looking for someone to reassure her constantly, and that is an endless drain on your energy. You deserve to be chosen without competition. You deserve to be with a woman who feels safe enough with you that she doesn't need to summon ghosts to test your strength. Drop secure in the comments if you've ever been tested this way. Or drop past if you've learned how to handle it without losing your cool. Stop competing with men who aren't even in the room. Start being the man who knows he's the only option that matters.